Have you ever wondered why exactly 16 severed hands were dug up it? And why every single one was a right hand? What the hell happened to the rest of the bodies? Why did they bury a little kid in Europe chained up with a padlock like some horror movie? And what lost worlds are hiding under the burning sands of Saudi Arabia get so wild they could flip history books upside down? Today we're diving into some of the most insane, jaw-dropping archaeological finds that still have experts scratching their heads. These aren't Hollywood inventions, they're real, dark, and way stranger than fiction. Buckle up, folks. In 2012, archaeologists were digging through an ancient palace in Avaris, Egypt, now called Tel Al. One gal, dry brushing of dirt, suddenly freezes. A white bone is sticking out of the ground. They keep clearing carefully and find 2 human hands. That was just the start. Deeper down, 3 massive pits packed with severed hands totaling 16. Every one a right hand, no lefts. These hands were huge, fingers pointing straight up like they were planted on purpose. And here's the creepiest part. No other body parts anywhere. Just these 16 hands buried alone. Tests showed they were 3,600 years old. Right around the time the Hyksos warriors from Syria stormed into Egypt. The real clue wasn't even in the dirt. It was 500 kilometers south on the walls of the temple of Habu in Luxor. Ancient carvings show piles of right hands in a pit, with hieroglyphs basically saying, "We counted the dead enemies by their chopped off hands." Back then, Egyptian soldiers had a brutal system. Cut off the enemy's right hand as proof of the kill, so he could never swing a sword again. Bring it back, and you got paid in gold, the gold of valor. Twisted, but it was their way of keeping score on the battlefield. Fast forward to the Giza plateau, right by the Great Pyramids. In May 2024, a team scanning the sand with ground-penetrating radar hit something crazy, an L-shaped structure buried underground. About 10 meters long, packed with sand. And below that, another hollow space dropping another 10 meters deep. The internet lost its mind, calling it secret alien vaults or the lost hall of records. But the real story is pure ancient genius. Experts think it was probably an entrance to a hidden tomb or a giant ramp the pyramid builders used to haul massive stones. Once the job was done, they smartly filled it with sand and limestone to hide it from grave robbers and keep desert surface perfectly flat. No big dig yet, but it proves the pyramids still have tons of secrets waiting under our feet. Then there's the one that sounds straight out of a vampire flick. In August 2023, archaeologists in a tiny Polish village called Pin digging up an old cemetery and found a child's skeleton buried stoned with a heavy padlock clamped around the ankles. People worldwide started calling it the vampire child. Around the year 1600, Poland was deep in vampire panic. Folks believed the dead could crawl out and suck blood from the living. But science tells the heartbreaking truth. Tests showed the kid had tuberculosis, super weak, pale skin, the kind of symptoms that looked demonic before anyone knew about germs or medicine. They buried the child normally at first. When more people in the village started dying, terrified locals dug it back up, flipped the body face down, and locked the legs so the monster couldn't rise again. Superstition and fear at its worst. Finally, deep in the Saudi Arabian desert sits Jirsan, giant lava tube carved by ancient volcanoes. International teams recently went inside and got of their lives. Thousands of human bones everywhere, men, women, kids plus stone tools. Carbon dating blew them away. Some bones were over 7,000 years old. This wasn't some random graveyard. It was a life-saving underground highway for ancient herders crossing. The cool tunnels shielded them from killer heat, bandits, and wild animals. Rock paintings on the walls show cattle and goats, proving Arabia back then was way greener and lusher than the endless sand we see today. These hidden caves let nomads survive in a changing world. These finds show us human history was full of brutality, smart engineering, raw fear, and an incredible survival. Way more intense than any textbook. Which story hit the hardest? Drop it in the comments. I read every one. If you love this kind of deep dive into the unknown, smash that like button, share it with your friends who are into mysteries and true history, and hit subscribe for more. See you in the next one. Stay curious and keep wondering what's really buried under our feet.